I'm trying to make a quick reference about golden sound stories, the ones that I like and the ones that I don't like so much. The varieties that I do like consist of 4 sound, 7 sound. Here's some 7 sounders. This is also 7 sound, but you'll note that it's a little wider, but all 7 sound ones, for the most part, are good. And then there's some 10 sound ones. Now, this is one that I don't want. We'll get to that necessarily. This is one that I do like. There's another 7 sounder. These are just randomly stacked up in here. Not so much into this one. Now, some of these, I guess we'll look at the ones that I'm not as big a fan of, although I'm kind of curious about them. These 4 have 4 batteries in their battery compartment. If that's the case, they conform to a different style than I'm after. These are all examples of keeper titles. These all have 3 batteries in their battery compartment. There's another style. Here's a 7 sound, but I do like 7 sounders. There's another style that does conform to 10 sounds, but it has a different resistor configuration than the ones that I typically like. I'll read off some titles from here. We got Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2. Aladdin. About half of the Disney titles are good ones, but there's some that I'm not so into. But the reason I like all of these ones is they eventually fit into my, I guess, cartridge-based synth. So it's like a modular interface for the circuits from these. Aladdin again. Some of these titles are more... Here, this one's got batteries, which is... I thought I stripped all these, but... Rip Gilbert Gottfried. It's got some great sounds in here. This one, also kind of funny. I do believe... Nope. This one. That sound is featured prominently in Batman Forever at a certain point. Kudos to anybody that can name where that sound effect comes in, but it's the only time I've ever heard one of these just stock, I think in like a movie or TV show. Okay, Beauty and the Beast. What do we got here? Oh, Lion King. But that sounded interesting too. I think, this one's missing its battery cover. Yeah, we got a little bit of a voltage starve going on here. And that's something that I haven't explored, but is pretty awesome. That is not what that's supposed to sound like, I don't think. Oh, there we go. I was going to say, I'm surprised that the longer sounds are, almost playing all the way through. But this one, I wonder if it's because of the loudness. Not sure. Nice. So here's some circuit bending that's not even intentional. I kind of do love when this stuff happens. So I actually have an interface of sorts for this on my interface. I just don't actually have a voltage starve knob, but I have a place where you can insert a 1/4-inch jack that will allow you to put resistance in place. So I've yet to screw with that too much, and I need to figure out what exact resistance we want to try to work with to achieve this. I'm thinking probably not very much, Might be a job for that 200 ohm slider I found recently. That'd be kind of nifty. It doesn't sound far off from some of the screwing with the capacitance things, and maybe that's part of it. Anyway, I guess we're getting sidetracked here. Let's just see how long that goes. Oh, 20,000 leaks under the sea. That one's not a very common one, but one that I like that conforms to my control configuration. Babysitting with Big Bird. There's also a rainforest safari with Big Bird. He's usually a good sign. The Page Master. The Jungle Book. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Food Fight. That's a fun one. Barbie. This is the one that started it all, that I modified into like an actual full-on bent device. Foolishly, but then I started finding more and more and taking them apart. You used to see these at the kids' shelves a lot more, but I think, I don't know, resellers have maybe caught on. I'm trying to corner the market. The Berenstein Bears Big Rummage Sale, that's a good one. The one that sucks or doesn't conform to my... Oh my goodness. Hakuna Matata, indeed. Okay, so back to this. There's a Berenstein Bears haunted house. I don't like that one. The Big Rummage Sale is more my style, and if you know me, that is on brand. Okay, Aladdin. Muppet Treasure Island. That's a good one. Somewhere in here, I think, is Addams Family Sir Pugsley. That's a good one. Dumbo. That's a good one. This is a 7-sounder, but Richard Scarry's Sergeant Murphy's Busiest Day Ever. Pretty much any 7-sound one, for the most part. There's like a couple of exceptions that I've barely been able to track down. The Lion King. We said that one already. Where's that Sir Pugsley one? I don't think this is all of them. Oh, that's so funny. There it is. This is a hard to find one. Oh, here's a good one. Superman Shadow over Metropolis. Most of the Superman ones are good. There's Flintstones ones. There's X-Men ones of the 7-sounders. But mostly we're primarily concerned with the 10 sounds. It's just their circuit, because the rest of it is pretty superfluous, and I've found that there's a pretty easy way to remove them. And oftentimes the battery compartment is corroded, that sort of thing. So a lot of these I've tossed in here. Looks like we've lost a couple. Oh, these are ones that I had wired up. Bugs Bunny's Big Race. I actually think that one is non-conforming. That one's just weird. It just looks different than the rest for whatever reason, but not one I find very often. But Winnie the Pooh, Bright and Early with Elmo. These are all titles. Rainforest Adventure, or Rainforest Safari, I guess, whatever. Barbie's Island Resort Adventure. Aladdin, as we said before. I don't even know what the hell this one is. This is a Superman 7-sound one. Now, most of these I have replicated as a cartridge, and that's what they end up looking like, more or less. I tried to make some coverings, but I haven't had much success in that regard. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Food Fight. Babysitting with Big Bird. We've got one taken apart. You can see there's a membrane, and this kind of helps describe what we'll talk about later. But basically there's 2 separate triggers and then 5 selectors. So it's one or the other of the triggers and one of the 5 selectors to make one of 10 sounds. Their resistor is 2.2K. Sometimes they're a different color than this, so 2200 ohms. But that's pretty much the way to identify them. That's the pitch resistor, and then the capacitor that's connected to it is, I'll put other capacitors in parallel with it, and that does odd things to the sound as well. Basically, I think they're setting the rate of an oscillator under the black blob, and we're screwing with that rate, and you can exploit that in a variety of ways. There's the batteries, and then this has had the speaker stripped out, but those 2 empty lugs just north of the black blob there are the speaker terminals. Okay, so Lion King, Pinocchio, Russ Trolls and the Shoemaker, Addams Family, Sir Pugsley, Flintstones, Rocks to Riches, the sequel, sound story adaptation, The Page Master, Berenstain Bears, Big Rummage Sale, Muppet Treasure Island, as we talked about before, Animaniacs and Fair Game, Sergeant Murphy's Busiest Day Ever, that's another 7-sounder, Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, that's a good one, and The Lion King. And I'm sure there's more we haven't talked about, but those are most of them in a nutshell. This one, actually, yeah, and this one, since they have only 3 batteries in their battery compartment and don't have the 2.2K resistor that I'm after, they conform to a different style of circuit that is resistor based with a black blob. I think the rest of these are that are 10 sound ones conform for the most part. So these are ones, again, that I do like to review. The Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, The Berenstain Bears Big Rummage Sale, The Lion King, Pinocchio, Beauty and the Beast, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Cinderella, Muppet Treasure Island, The Jungle Book, Aladdin, and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Food Fight. I think the one that we're missing in here is the Page Master, maybe a couple of other ones. So that's, for the most part, ones that I do like, except for the Little Mermaid and Mickey's Treehouse Adventures. No to those ones. There's ones that have 4 batteries and an IC. And those ones I think are interesting, but they don't conform to my control box layout. Bambi is one of those. There are 2 Batman titles. This is the one that you find more often. There's one with the Riddler as well that's much less common. Barney. And there's like a Precious Moments one too that's, I think, got 4 batteries and an IC. Those ones seem like they might glitch, but I don't know. I haven't worked with those enough, and they just don't conform to the one that I think is very worthwhile as far as bending goes. These are some other ones that I've found that I have not had as much luck with, and I wouldn't recommend. So there's 4 sounders as well. I'll show you those titles. I've got a collection of those. All right. Back in here, we've got some 4 sound stories. 95% of these titles have a similar resistor and capacitor layout, but the switching is different. So I can't use these with my modular array, but these are still sought after titles because, hello, Ginger. These ones can be bent in a similar way. They just need a slightly different interface. So the littlest elf, the tortoise and the hare. I think actually Barnyard Mystery does not conform. 10 in bed. Wheels on the bus. A goose for all seasons. Mother Goose rhymes again. I know an old lady. Take me out to the ball game, Scuffy the tugboat. A dinosaur comes to dinner. Take me out to the ball game, Mr. Nash's noisy pancake machine. The wheels on the bus. I think Barnyard Mystery again is maybe a no. Oddly. The ABC House. The Littlest Elf. Mother Goose rhymes again. Little Red Riding Hood. The Little Bug Band. A personal favorite. Aren't they just adorable? Again, I know an old lady. What do we got here even? Oh, these are some ones I forgot about these. I haven't messed with them at all. But I think these ones have a similar circuit inside from, if I remember correctly, but who knows about their switching array. That's probably what I'm... And you don't hardly ever see these. I can't remember. I probably ordered just about all of these, honestly. I think you don't see the 4-sound ones too often. This old man, he's missing his strip, but probably because I grabbed it already and I didn't have a duplicate. Scuffy the tugboat. What all do we have in here? The best color of all. There's the color kittens, I want to say, too. A dinosaur comes to dinner. The pokey little puppy. I'm not sure about that one. Tortoise and the hare. Little Red Riding Hood. The ABC House. Tale of the Seahorse. There's one. Pokey little puppy. This is an oddball 7-sounder. And this one isn't quite the same shape as the other ones. I don't think this... we just don't know about this one. I don't think it's gonna work, though, just from what I sort of remember. Not so sure about this one either. There's like a knockoff Star Wars one that I don't have. Kept the circuits off these and gotten rid of the books, but these are all ones that don't conform and I don't think are quite right. But I've saved them just for experimentation down the road or whatever. Mostly trying to figure this out over the years. So yeah, Barney, Batman, those are 4-battery ones. Here's a 3-battery that doesn't conform. It's got 2 resistors, but not a 2.2K resistor to be found on there. And another noteworthy thing on some of them is that there's like a cutout in the board where the resistor sits, and that's usually an indicator that it is not conforming if it's one that has a black blob. This is one that was making me sad that it didn't conform. It's Bird Watching with Bert. I like the sounds on that one. Bambi has 4 batteries and an IC. This is the Berenstein Bears Haunted House, non-conforming. Has a resistor and a black blob. Peter Pan, non-conforming. Resistor, black blob. This is also a disappointment. It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Attack of the Robo Bugs or something like that. Non-conforming. 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 The Little Mermaid. I have a bunch of the plastic cases, which I'm hoping might be used to make some panels at some point someday. Animaniacs, I can't remember what, they're at the circus or something, doesn't conform. This is that Mickey's birthday. There's one where he's at a tree house as well. Muppets, some Foo-Foo, Where Are You? That's got the resistor, but doesn't conform. This is another Pet Parade, Sesame Street Pet Parade. It's got the resistor, but not the right resistor. Here's the treehouse, Mickey's treehouse or whatever. So those are the ones that do not conform. And I've got them. I just don't know what to do with them. We'll see.